Welcome to Sleepy Sports Stories on Facts to Relax. Tonight is a time to slow down. Leave the busy moments of the day behind. Take a slow, gentle breath and let it go. Together, we will explore the peaceful side of sports history. We will meet remarkable athletes. We will remember legendary teams. We will revisit unforgettable competitions, and we will discover the quiet stories behind the games. There is nothing you need to do. There is nowhere you need to be. You do not have to stay awake for every word. Simply listen, breathe slowly, and let each story unfold at its own gentle pace. Allow your shoulders to relax. Let your hands become still. Soften the muscles in your face. Take another slow breath in and gently breathe out. Let the events of today slowly fade away. Allow your mind to drift. Allow your body to rest. If sleep comes before the story is finished, that is perfectly fine. Simply close your eyes. Relax completely. And let these sleepy sports stories guide you into a peaceful night's sleep. Long before giant stadiums, long before television, long before gold medals, there was a peaceful valley in southern Greece. The valley was called Olympia. Every 4 years, it became the center of the Greek world. Thousands of people gathered there. They came from distant cities. They crossed mountains. They sailed across the sea. They traveled for days or even weeks. All came for one reason: the Olympic Games. The first recorded Olympic Games took place in 776 BC. The Games continued for more than 1,000 years. They ended around AD 393. Few sporting events in history lasted so long. The Olympics were much more than athletic contests. They were a religious festival. The Games honored Zeus. Zeus was the king of the Greek gods. Olympia was one of his most sacred places. At the heart of Olympia stood a magnificent temple. Inside was an enormous statue of Zeus. The statue was made by the famous sculptor Phidias. It stood nearly 40 feet tall. It was covered with gold and ivory. Ancient visitors described it with amazement. Many considered it one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. The Games began with religious ceremonies. Athletes offered sacrifices. Priests performed rituals. Crowds gathered to pray. Competition and worship belonged together. The Olympic Games were considered sacred. Before each festival, a special truce was declared. This was known as the Olympic Truce. Greek city-states often fought one another. Wars were common. But during the truce, the fighting stopped. Travelers could safely journey to Olympia. Athletes could compete without fear. Messengers carried news of the truce across Greece. The journey itself became part of the tradition. Only free Greek men could compete. Women were not allowed to enter most events. Married women were not even permitted to watch. There were a few exceptions. The priestess of Demeter held an honored place. Young women later had their own festival. It was called the Heraean Games. These races honored the goddess Hera. Athletes prepared for months before arriving. Training required great discipline. Many practiced every day. They ran. They wrestled. They lifted heavy stones. They threw spears. They strengthened both body and mind. 1 month before the games, they gathered nearby. Officials observed their training. Only those judged ready could compete. The athletes took an oath. They promised to compete honestly. They swore before the statue of Zeus. Breaking the rules brought shame. Cheating was punished severely. Some offenders paid heavy fines. The money built bronze statues. These statues reminded future athletes to compete fairly. The first Olympic Games included only one event. It was a foot race. The race covered about 192 meters. This became known as the Stadion. The winner earned great honor. As the years passed, more events were added. The games became longer. More athletes arrived. The festival eventually lasted 5 days. Running remained the most popular competition. There were several races. One was the Dialos. Athletes sprinted down the track. They turned around a post. Then they raced back. Another race was much longer. It was called the Dolichos. Some races covered several miles. Endurance mattered as much as speed. One unusual event was the Hoplitodromos. Athletes raced wearing armor. They carried heavy shields. Originally, they also wore helmets. The race prepared soldiers for battle. Strength alone was never enough. Balance and endurance mattered too. Wrestling became another favorite event. The rules were simple. The skill was remarkable. Athletes tried to throw each other to the ground. 3 successful throws usually decided the match. Striking was not allowed. Neither was biting. Competitors relied upon technique. They studied balance. They learned patience. Victory often came from careful timing. Boxing was far rougher. Ancient boxers wrapped leather straps around their hands. There were no padded gloves. There were no timed rounds. The contest continued until one boxer surrendered. Injuries were common. Broken noses were expected. Even so, the crowds admired courage above all else. The most demanding event was the pancration. It combined wrestling and boxing. Almost every move was allowed. Only biting and eye gouging were forbidden. Strength, speed, and strategy were equally important. Many considered it the ultimate athletic challenge. Some victories became legendary. The pentathlon tested many different skills. It included 5 events: running, long jump, discus, javelin, and wrestling. The long jump looked different from today. Athletes held stone or metal weights. These were called halteres. They swung the weights as they jumped. The movement helped increase the distance. Musicians sometimes played flutes during the event. The discus required careful technique. The stone or bronze disc was heavy. Athletes practiced smooth movements. Power alone could not produce a winning throw. The javelin also demanded skill. A leather strap wrapped around the spear. This helped create extra spin. Experienced throwers learned to control both distance and accuracy. One of the most exciting events featured horses. The hippodrome echoed with excitement. Horse races attracted wealthy owners. Chariot races became especially popular. Teams of 2 or 4 horses raced around dangerous turns. Drivers balanced carefully. Crashes happened often. Wooden chariots splintered. Horses tangled together. Dust filled the air. Winning brought enormous prestige. Interestingly, the official winner was not always the driver. The victory belonged to the owner of the horses. This allowed wealthy citizens to earn Olympic glory. Some owners never stepped onto the track. Athletes competed without clothing. This surprised many later cultures. The Greeks believed the human body reflected beauty and strength. Competing without clothing also prevented hidden weapons or unfair advantages. Olive oil covered the athletes' skins. The oil protected against the sun. It also highlighted their muscles. After competition, they scraped away the oil using curved metal tools. These tools were called strigils. The Olympic Stadium itself was simple. There were no towering grandstands. Most spectators stood or sat upon grassy slopes. The track stretched across the valley. Thousands of visitors gathered under the warm Greek sky. Vendors sold food. Travelers shared stories. Poets recited verses. Philosophers exchanged ideas. The Olympics became a great meeting place for Greek culture. Victorious athletes received no gold medals. There were no silver medals. There were no bronze medals. Instead, they received a simple wreath. The wreath was made from wild olive branches. The branches came from a sacred tree near the temple of Zeus. The prize had little material value. Its meaning was priceless. Returning home, champions often received generous rewards. Cities welcomed them with celebrations. Some received free meals for life. Others earned money. Some were given houses. Statues honored the greatest champions. Poets wrote songs about them. Their names survived for centuries. One famous athlete was Milo of Croton. He became one of history's greatest wrestlers. Stories about Milo grew larger over time. Legend claimed he trained by carrying a young calf every day. As the calf grew into a bull, Milo became stronger. Whether true or not, the story inspired generations. Another celebrated champion was Leonidas of Rhodes. He won 12 Olympic crowns. His speed amazed ancient spectators. His record stood for centuries. Olympic officials worked hard to organize the festival. Judges wore purple robes. They enforced the rules. They settled disputes. They inspected equipment. They awarded victories. Their decisions carried great authority. Cheating rarely escaped notice. The games followed strict traditions. Trumpets announced important ceremonies. Heralds introduced competitors. Sacrifices honored the gods. Victory celebrations filled the evenings. The festival blended religion, sport, music, and community. As Greece changed, so did the Olympics. The Roman Empire eventually controlled Greece. Roman emperors admired the games. Some supported them generously. Others used them for political purposes. One emperor even competed in the events. His victories were not always accepted by history. Christianity gradually spread throughout the empire. Many ancient religious festivals began to disappear. The Olympic Games honored pagan gods. Eventually, Emperor Theodosius I ordered many pagan celebrations to end. Around AD 393, the ancient Olympic Games came to a close. After more than 1,000 years, the tradition stopped. Olympia slowly fell silent. Floods covered parts of the sanctuary. Earthquakes damaged the temples. Soil buried many ancient buildings. For centuries, the site rested beneath the earth. Travelers forgot its exact appearance. Then archaeologists arrived. Careful excavations began during the 19th century. Stone by stone, they uncovered the ancient sanctuary. Columns emerged from the soil. Temple foundations appeared once again. The stadium became visible. Visitors could finally walk where ancient athletes once raced. Many discoveries revealed everyday life. Tools were uncovered. Coins appeared. Statues emerged from the ground. Inscriptions preserved the names of champions. Historians learned more with every excavation. The spirit of Olympia inspired a new generation. In 1896, the modern Olympic Games were born. Athletes from many nations gathered in Athens. The tradition had returned. Much had changed. Women competed. Countries from around the world participated. Gold medals replaced olive wreaths. Yet many ancient ideas remained. Fair competition, peaceful gathering, respect for excellence. Today, millions watch the Olympic Games. New records are celebrated. New champions are crowned. Modern stadiums hold enormous crowds. Yet the story still leads back to one quiet valley. A place surrounded by olive trees. A place where athletes honored the gods. A place where sport united people for more than 1,000 years. The ancient Olympic Games became one of history's greatest traditions. Their influence never truly disappeared, even after centuries of silence. The echoes of Olympia continue today. Every opening ceremony, every race, every victory, and every athlete who dreams of standing among the world's very best carries forward a small part of that remarkable ancient tradition. our sleepy sports story has come to an end. I hope these peaceful moments have helped your mind slow down and your body relax. The games are over. The stadium is quiet. The lights grow softer. Everything is still. Take one slow, gentle breath in and slowly breathe out. Let your shoulders sink a little deeper. Let your hands become heavy. Allow every muscle to soften. There is nothing left to do tonight, nothing to think about, nothing to worry about. Simply enjoy the comfort of this peaceful moment. If you are already drifting towards sleep, let yourself continue. If you are still awake, close your eyes. Take another slow breath and let it go. May your dreams be calm. May your sleep be deep. And may you wake up feeling rested and refreshed. Thank you for listening. Sleep peacefully. Good night.